Hello and welcome to State of the Union. I'm Stefan Grobe in Brussels. The world has gotten used to nonsensical remarks by Donald Trump. That's why European leaders rarely comment on them. They usually hold their nose and move on. But Trump's suggestion during a campaign rally that the United States would not protect NATO allies who fail to spend enough on defense sparked a rare public backlash. Dangerous, unhinged, appalling. Those were some of the friendlier reactions. Here's the EU's foreign policy chief.
NATO cannot be a la carte military alliance. Cannot be a military alliance that works depending on the humor of the president of the US on those days. It's not yes, now yes, tomorrow no, it depends who are you. Now, come on, let's be serious. Let's be serious.
At a meeting of NATO defense ministers this week, participants were also not in a mood to mince words.
The whole idea of NATO is that an attack on one ally will trigger the response from the whole alliance. And as long as we stand behind that message together, we prevent any military attack on any ally. So any suggestion that we are not standing up for each other, that we are not going to protect each other, that does undermine the security of all of us.
Stoltenberg also reported record military spending of the alliance. As budgetary decisions are taken over a period of months, NATO spending cannot be considered a direct response to Trump, who has a track record of hostile remarks about NATO. It rather reflects a response to Russian aggression and Vladimir Putin. The higher military spending is being done in a rather difficult economic situation. This week, European aerospace group Airbus reported its latest earnings. The numbers were mixed. The financial forecast for 2024 was cautious. In general, it's a tough financial environment for the aviation industry, who is looking toward cutting costs everywhere. One option under consideration is a reduction of the number of pilots at the controls of an airliner. It's called the Extended Minimum Crew Operations, EMCO, something that pilots believe is a deeply concerning development that would come at the cost of safety. Joining me now is Otjan de Bruijn, President of the European Cockpit Association. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So you represent more than 40,000 pilots in 33 countries. Tell us why your organization is against EMCO.
So in aviation, we have redundancy and backup for all safety critical systems. And this philosophy is at the core of modern aviation. To give an example, on board of large airplanes, every safety critical system is installed twofold or threefold to prevent this crucial failure. Currently, there are also two pilots at the controls of an aircraft. Two pilots work as a team. They serve as this critical safety net, monitoring systems, but also monitoring each other, detecting errors and mitigating potential hazards before they escalate.
Just to be sure, what are the risks associated with a one pilot only scheme?
So in this concept, when this one pilot is there for hours during the cruise phase, he or she would need to take a toilet break. And during this toilet break, there would be no pilot. So what happens, for instance, if at that moment air traffic control asks you to deviate from your flight path, if there is an engine fire or smoke developing on the flight deck or a collision warning, I, as a pilot, will not be able to be responsible for the safety of my passengers, of my crew and my aircraft.
The one pilot concept is under evaluation by the EU Aviation Safety Agency. How advanced is this evaluation, and have you guys been consulted?
Yeah, so in the last 2 years, a small group of stakeholders has been consulted, in which we indeed were also consulted and have been involved. It is the first time in history where the European Aviation Safety Agency is starting rulemaking without the purpose of solving a safety issue. Instead, they are introducing many safety issues, and we have no trust in this evaluation process being carried out independently and impartially.
What about your employers, the airlines? Where do they come down on this?
Well, it is very simple. It is commercially driven by some airlines who see a potential of saving some money by reducing the number of pilots during long-haul flights. Airlines may be tempted by the prospect of gaining this cost-saving competitive advantage through the elimination of this pilot. However, they may find themselves unpleasantly surprised to discover that commercial incentives are an extremely risky driver in aviation. And if they doubt this, they should simply ask Boeing.
All right, Ochan de Bruyn, President of the European Cockpit Association, thank you so much for filling us in on this very important topic.
Thank you very much.
Before we go, here's a look at the Carnival season that came to an end this week. Some of the biggest parades traditionally take place in Western Germany. In Cologne alone, an estimated 1.5 million people took to the streets to celebrate the fun amid an abundance of candy, flowers and alcohol. Unlike the Carnival in Venice or Rio de Janeiro, the parades in Germany feature floats that address political issues with biting sarcasm. A float in Cologne had figures of Vladimir Putin, President Xi Jinping of China, and Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, all with planks of wood nailed to their heads. In German, that means you're an idiot. Another float showed Ukrainian President Zelensky holding a helmet next to the inscription, "To be or NATO be." Amazing how complex issues suddenly become clear when you're in a very festive mood. That's it for this edition. I'm Stefan Grobe. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent week.